Sometimes at night I'll go on these drives. You know, to clear my head or something. I'll just get in my car and drive through the city, and through the suburbs, and down the rural roads with only barns and livestock as scenery, then onto the highway, going 60 miles per hour. Speeding. I mean, not literally, but I'm going real fast. And I'll go and go until I'm far beyond any of this, until I'm outside where I've been. And I'll reach a different town. It's small, it's always small. But it always has a different feel, you know. Like, I'll park in some general store parking lot and step out of my old Ford pickup truck and the warmness of the town will hit me. Or I'll walk into a convenience store and I'll sense this eerie way the town looks at me. I don't know where I get these senses from. Maybe it's the way people move, or maybe it's the way the light hits the concrete sidewalks, or maybe it's the way the paint peels on the walls of the hardware stores. Whatever it is, it communicates. It speaks. And it speaks loudly. Fuck. I don't know what I'm talking about. But you do, right? I mean, you can get a real sense of a place. Now, after I reach whatever other town I do, I'll stop driving and check the place out, and, I mean, the things I see are mostly mundane, but, you know, I can get a real ominous vibe just from walking into an Arby's. But then there's the other shit I see. The shit I feel like I'm not supposed to see. The places I go, well, I feel like they're on the border of civilization. Weird shit, creepy shit, shit that make you feel like you ain't supposed to be here. That's where it lives. On the outskirts. You know, I've seen a lot of different shit, but that thing I saw in the pool changing room at that shitty motel, fuck, man. God, it was one of those nights. I got that goddamn itch to drive. But I got tired. Dangerously so. I pulled off the highway at the closest exit to find a motel. I found one pretty quick. This old double-story one with all the balconies facing the parking lot. The walls were painted a brown peeling white. It's faded. Now pink sign read 8-Ball Motel. Well, I pulled into the parking lot, parked, and got myself a room. It was on the second story. I had to climb this untrustworthy wooden staircase to reach it. The room itself was fine. The walls had this weird stripe pattern and the light had this yellow tint, but the room was clean. That's all that mattered. Now, the room had a coffee machine, and I got to thinking what might wake me up. I mean, I was there to sleep, but with the mood I was in, I wanted to remain conscious just a little longer. So I brewed some coffee. And damn, did it wake me up. Tasted like shit, but it woke me up. I remembered, in my heightened state of consciousness, that the motel had a pool. One of those outdoor pools with the unnaturally blue water. And I thought to myself, what if I went for a dip, you know, just floated under the stars? That might give me that feeling. That feeling of seeing you again. But then I remembered I don't have anything to swim in. And you know, I said to myself, that's bullshit. I've got my underwear. And so I went down to that motel lobby and begged the concierge to let me use the pool just to feel like I might be with you. Maybe that's why I do it. Why I drive. To feel the way your aqueous form and celestial face make me feel. Or maybe I'm looking for you. Trying to find you in the nooks and crannies of the USA. Well, you could be anywhere. On a different continent, even. Looking like a diner, or an apartment complex, or a fucking forest or whatever. Eating all those fuckers with black hearts. And you know, I just hope you're happy. Anyway, back to that thing. So, I walked down that blue and beige tiled hallway lit by that impossibly white fluorescent bulb, and turned the corner into the men's side of the dressing rooms. Not that it mattered. I was the only one there. Well, I figured I'd just leave my clothes out on the benches, 'cause there's no way I'm gonna pay for a locker, and who's gonna be stealing my clothes anyway? So I stripped down to just my undies and left my clothes in a nice little pile on this one extra clean looking bench. I, with towel in hand, was about to go out there to the pool, but then I heard this noise. This fucking noise sounded almost unworldly. It was like, some woman screaming for help. But like distorted. It was pitched down and all swirly. It writhed and churned. Well, this sound pierced my skin and froze me in place. Oh God, I thought, someone's in trouble. I gotta help. Now this sound, I don't think it could come from any human, but in that moment I told myself that what I was hearing was a woman in danger. First thing I did was identify where it was coming from. Sounded like it was coming from the women's locker room. So I, in my underwear, walked back into the tiled hall. It was one of those apprehensive walks, like, I want to see what's up but whatever it is might hurt me. My curiosity was stronger than my gut telling me to just enjoying my peaceful night float, though, so I entered the women's dressing room. At first I didn't see anything, so I slowly shuffled my way further into the room. Looking around the room I didn't see anything, so I said, "Hey, does anybody need help?" Well, fuck. Big mistake. I heard this loud, high-pitched, piercing scream felt like static, and then this pressure in my body like a bomb just exploded in front of me. I collapsed to the ground in a ball, wrists curling and neck twitching. The pressure left me and I was able to get up on my hands and knees. Then I saw it. Well, the first thing I saw this woman crouched over this man. Both of them were naked. The woman was, well, she was fucking eating that guy and moaning like she needed help. But that's the first thing I saw. That thing, well, it made sense. And then there was more. They were in the corner of the room, and the corner was all black. Like it had this black, oozing mold and rot growing out of it. And in the mold there were bones. And then, well, I don't know. There were these creatures, these amalgamations of biology that would grow out of the mold, muscle, bone, tissue, ligament, skin. It would all grow out to form this fucking homunculus. And they would grow out and twist and writhe together. And the mold covered the people too. And those abominations grew out of them. And the lights flickered. And then they were standing. Just standing a couple feet apart, staring at me. Their features morphed and slithered around like a slow-moving liquid, those homunculi growing out of them the whole time. But their shape, their overall form, it stayed the same. The slime moved out from the corner and started to cover the room. And that's when I realized I couldn't move. My extremities had gone numb. The man and the woman, if you could call them that, didn't move. They just flowed in place. I sat there, trying to figure out how to move, and that's when it really happened. From the corner of the room the hue started to blanch. It became white, albino even, and it began to harden into these mineral-like veins on the walls that originated from that corner. Then the hands came out. Two white, and I mean white, bony hands stuck out from the corner. The corner began to distort, folding in on itself as this thing emerged. It was like a human. Close to a human. It was tall, 7 feet maybe. It had albino skin. Well, the texture was more like quartz. It was built, I mean, just incredibly buff, and it had no genitalia. It was genderless, sexless. It just was. It was bald and it had this face that was terrifyingly beautiful, not like you. You see, its beauty was off. And its eyes. They were piercing. And they made me feel something. Something wrong. A sense of dread. And then I realized it. Put a name to the feeling. It was what I felt that night before you saved me. That's when I knew I absolutely had to get out of there. I spent a long time trying to relearn how to use my limbs as it walked toward me, slowly but surely. The man and the woman turned into marble statues as that thing walked past. Finally, I was able to get up and awkwardly stumble down the tile hallway. I left that motel right then and there, just ran to my car and drove away, leaving my clothes, wearing nothing but my undies. And I drove all night. Drove until I was several states away from my hometown. Then I bought myself a new outfit from some outlet store and ate a giant-ass breakfast at this 24-hour diner. Well, I don't know. I don't know why I keep going on these drives, why I can't just sleep at night. Maybe I'm still adjusting to this body. Maybe I really am still looking for you. Well, like I said, I don't know. All I know is that you shouldn't ever swim at the 8-Ball Motel off of exit 36. Not that you can swim. But still,